Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke, and this is the Bramley Moor project. Now, we're going to skip the Bramley Moor Basin just for the fact that there hasn't been too much been done there. However, the West Stand and car park have had a decent amount done to them, so we can see that the groundwork is pretty much all but complete for the car park area, and there has been a small bit of an addition in forms of the West Stand in the form of some supporting structures, as well as like link points towards the southwest and northwest main supporting structures there. Now, looking over at the south stand, there has been a significant amount of work done. You've probably already seen it in the forms of the Everton video that's been uploaded, but the final corner is now in full progress, so they've actually started bringing the walls in. Now, those walls can range from anywhere between 10 tons to 16 tons. The one that they had advertised on there was 12 tons. So there was a significant amount of work done there just to get that put into place. So what they actually do is they've got to line up with the rebar alongside some cross sections, and then they put concrete in the middle of it to sort of act like a bonding agent, so that the concrete wall is actually linked to the rebar and everything else around it. There are some other bits in between, but in all fairness, those things are quite a simple process and quite tedious process that they haven't really divulged to us. But looking over on the bird's eye view, we can actually see the walls that have been put up so far. So we can see two of them in particular, one of them further south and the other one in the middle. So one on the left, one in the middle. Those guys are the two first pieces of what is going to be a lot of them, and they are going to be one of the focal points that we're going to do in the near future. So we're going to actually focus on those guys a little bit more as time progresses until the steel structures start getting put into place, which should be around mid to late April. So by the by, everything is progressing quite smoothly in terms of Bramley Moor. However, I will actually divert a little bit here, because Everton have released their financial statements where they've actually said that they have recorded, I believe it was a £107 million loss for the 2020-2021 financial year. Now, unfortunately, that does actually also account for the fact of COVID and everything. That's their main finger that they pointed, saying that their gate revenue should be around 15 million. They only recorded 0.2 million over the course of this financial year. And on top of that, transfers as well as a few other little factors have played into it, because they haven't been able to sell off players due to the fact of other clubs not actually having the financial backing to sell them off as well, which is a shame in all fairness. And to be honest, I'm expecting that to be seen across the entire board, across the Premier League, where they are seeing some losses. But in all fairness, Everton, we've basically dug ourselves in our own grave for this one, and it's going to take us a few years to get ourselves out. Will this mean we're going to get a transfer ban? Highly unlikely. Does this mean we're going to get points deducted? Almost certain that we're not going to get any points deducted. But please don't rely on me as your main source of news. Go to the likes of Toffee TV and some of the other guys who are more reputable and have got better connections. I'm just going off what I've read off the Everton's website. Now, tangent's over, going back to what we can see over the site. So looking over the north stand, there's actually a significant amount done there. I didn't see too much when I was looking at it through the controller, but looking at everything around here, you can see most of the concrete on the ground and everything, all of that's getting laid out and laid bare. And the supporting structures, both the west and east one, are seeing significant amounts of work done to them. So almost looking at it right now, looking at the eastern structure, so that almost looks like it's pretty much on its third tier now. Looking at the concrete, looking at the cement walls, we can see it does look like there's now 3 tiers. How many tiers we're going to see on them before they're completed, I'm not too sure. I'm going to say around 5 or 6 before we've reached the finish point for those. So that's a guess in its own right. But looking at everything over the bird's eye view, it comes quite clear that there is. You can see the snowflake structure that has been mentioned in the past on the channel. We're seeing that getting laid out a little bit more here and there. So we're actually seeing it from like the dirt and everything that was sitting over it at the time, and we're seeing a lot of other things. So we're seeing where some of the pylons are sitting. So what's going to happen is they're probably going to be adding steel into there, so it's actually set into the ground itself. So if anything, let's say for argument's sake, Liverpool was to have an earthquake, like a significant earthquake. In all fairness, if any part of the UK was to have a significant earthquake, the damage sustained would be massive, just to the fact that most of our buildings aren't built with flexibility in mind from earthquakes. They are quite powerful, just to take that into a thing. I do apologise, that was another tangent, but back onto track. So looking over everything, we can see again we're moving further and further into the main basin as time goes on. So my prediction is pretty much come the end of April, I think we're probably going to start seeing like the true shape of the stadium starting to take place. Now bear in mind, the shape of the stadium itself is going to be quite an obscure one, just for the fact that you're going to see a few outcropped areas around the stadium. It's not going to be like your standard run-of-the-mill stadium where it's like an oval or even like a semi-rectangular shape. There's going to be outcrops as well, because we've designed this in the sense of it being a stadium that's going to look like it has been pulled out of the ground and is going to look like it's been sitting there for eons. It's going to suit the look of the stadium itself. So that is what we're going to be looking forward to in the coming future. And what I'm going to do in next week's video, I am going to get a photo, or what I can do beforehand, before next week's video, I'm going to post out a photo so we can actually see over on the side wall. You're not going to see it here, but on the side wall there is actually some demos of what this stadium actually looks like. Also, you're probably looking at this right now thinking, what's going on here? This is just one quickly for people on the channel. So a lot of people have been asking me, what does Goodison, where is Goodison in relation to this? So here's Goodison. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all my Patreons, those being CT Baz, Mark Bones, Martin Evans, Francis Houghton, Big Joe, EFC 100, Moggers and Ed Armitage. So if you want to be like any of these guys and get your name over here and also get early access to videos and ad-free content, why not go over to the School of Science TV Patreon? We have got 2 tiers there. First one being a cup of coffee tier. So there's no real perks or benefits with the cup of coffee tier. It is quite literally a £1 donation saying, look, I like what you're doing, mate. Here's £1 on me. Go get yourself a cup of coffee. The £3 tier is the one where you're going to have access to the videos, you get your name in this banner, and you're also going to get ad-free content on the channel. So I'm going to just make a very quick announcement on this one. We are going to be starting up a business as well. It's going to be called School of Science Drones. Now with this, it is essentially, we're going to be operating within the Northwest, where we're going to be doing any land surveying. So we're going to be basically providing pictures for land, buildings, commercial, residential, and or if you have any damage to your building, we can actually access it for you, where we can get proper photos, high quality photos that you can then take on to the appropriate people for like the essential fixings that you need to have done to it. So whether it, let's say for argument's sake, the heavy winds that we had when we had those 3 storms about a month or 2 ago. Bloody hell, they've actually been that long. It's been so long. But if you have had any damage, say off your roof, like some slates or tiles have come off, I can get the drone up and we can get some proper photos which are high quality and high detailed that you can then take to your appropriate, say, roofer or landlord or anything along those lines, or even insurance company, and say this is the damage that's been done. Then we can get that all sorted out and it's all done for a reasonable price. Now I'm going to be making a proper video about all this in the near future, talking about what we're going to be able to offer. But I'm really excited to be able to do this sort of stuff because I'll be honest, I'm very passionate about my drones, about my photography and videography sort of stuff. So being able to provide another service alongside this channel to the general public around the Northwest and say the North of Wales as well, we'll make it even the North of Wales. Being able to provide this sort of service for you guys is just something I'd be very happy to do. And as I said, I would like to do it at a very fair and reasonable cost as well, because I have seen these sorts of things across Google and everything, and the prices they do provide are a fair bit exorbitant for what they're actually doing. So yeah, there's going to be more details about that in an upcoming video. But for now, guys, I would like to say thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to see you all in the next video. Peace.